Each of these cars is controlled by an AI, which I trained to drive in a very iconic place. This is AO1, the very first level in Trackmania, the racing game. For almost 2 decades, millions of players have competed to set the fastest time on this iconic track. And it culminated 2 years ago when the player Eddie set his legendary world record. A great time, but is that truly the limit? How close are we really to the perfect run? Well, these are the questions that made me train an AI to challenge AO1's world record. I've been working on this AI for years now, and recently, training it on AO1 simply started as a small experiment. Yet, this side project pulled me way deeper than I expected, eventually leading to a completely new discovery in this game. But to understand how we got there, we need to start at the beginning, as our AI takes its very first steps on AO1. For now, the AI doesn't have any experience with the game, it's just picking actions at random, and naturally, it doesn't get very far. If we want it to improve, it's gonna need some kind of motivation. For every action the AI takes, I'm gonna give it a reward. The faster it progresses along the track, the higher the reward. Its only goal then is to accumulate the most rewards, which it learns through a process called reinforcement learning. Basically, the AI is gonna drive this track many times. With each attempt, it can try new things, learn from its mistakes, and gradually develop its own driving strategy through trial and error. After a few hundred attempts, we can already see it's made good progress. It's able to go further and see more of the track. In fact, this is what the AI really sees while driving. 20 times per second, it gets a few numbers describing the state of the car and how it's positioned on the road. At this point, the AI is only a few obstacles away from completing the track. With each new attempt, it's growing more confident, getting closer than ever to the finish line. Until eventually, it manages to set its very first time on AO1, the first of many improvements. After 3000 attempts, the AI has reached a decent level, roughly matching the target time set by the game's developers. But the interesting part really starts a few hours later, when the AI makes its first breakthrough in a key section of the track, the downhill. As it approaches the jump line, the AI suddenly decides to release the accelerator. Obviously, this makes it lose speed, but as a result, it lands earlier and thus can regain speed sooner. Now, it's carrying more speed through the rest of the track and slowly, it's catching up with its opponent. Until eventually, it manages to beat the developers at their own game. Over the next few hours, the AI refined its strategy further by jumping more and more diagonally. This way, it found it could preserve more speed in the jump, exiting the downhill much faster. Actually, the AI pretty much rediscovered how most players drive this section, and already it's getting close to my own level. It's still lacking a bit of precision, so I still have the upper hand, but that wouldn't last long, as the AI was just about to make its second major discovery. We're approaching the final corner, and the AI is slightly behind me, when suddenly it uses the brake. This choice makes it lose speed, but it also initiates a drift, which might have a purpose here, because a few seconds later the AI is closing the gap. Until for the first time, it's able to beat me on AO1. And apparently, this drift was not just an accident. The AI is now doing it in every single attempt. What happened is that it rediscovered an advanced technique called the speed drift. In this game, when you build enough speed and drift at a very specific angle, it triggers a bug that makes the car accelerate faster, just enough to make the difference here. The AI just found the key to driving AO1 like the very best players, and as a result, it's reaching the pace of the world's top 100 leaderboard. It's now just 2 tenths away from beating one of the most prestigious records in this game. Let's see how far it can go with more training. At this stage, the AI spent an equivalent of 400 hours on AO1, which, interestingly, is comparable to the top players here. It's only 500 of the world record, driving almost the same lines as Eddie, except for one notable difference. As you can see, Eddie chose to do an additional speed drift here. It makes him lose some ground at first, but with the extra speed, he quickly catches up to the AI, carrying a clear advantage into the final jump. The AI, however, keeps ignoring this drift, sticking with tighter lines instead. And it's actually still making progress, getting closer and closer attempts, eventually getting this run.